Yes, the biggest fear when it comes to public speaking is the stage fright.
Okay.
It is stage fright and going on the stage, judging themselves if they are looking good and how is it. So it is a biggest fear. It is a fear which is there all the time. You see the best speaker in the world or a starter, they all
Hmm.
have stage fright. So if you see, there's a principle called Mehrabian's principle, which says 55% it's all about body language that we talk about. And your
Okay.
I value is by value. When we talk about body language, yes, your body comes first because the way you look, the way you grab audience attention, if you're going on that TEDx stage and the first smile you give or the way you
Hmm.
present matters a lot. There are some elements here. The first one is the posture, the way you're standing, the way you're, for example, if I'm getting more in the front or the back or of my mind, even if I'm speaking, even if it is just a podcast,
Hmm.
which can be visible, not visible. So your posture is one thing. How you stand, where you stand. Are you at the center of the stage? Are you comfortable in the way you are dressed up and the way you present your posture? So the first 30 seconds really matter. How do you start? A very easy and a simple technique would be asking questions and connecting with people.
Hmm.
Really asking. So something like, how many of you? So if I'm talking
Hmm.
about a speech which says you should get up early in the morning, how many of you are early risers? If I'm talking
Yeah.
about public speaking, I might be, how many of you are backbenchers in the classroom?
Hmm.
So a questioning technique works very well.
Welcome to Vibrant Publishers podcast. Guest for today is Ami Ved, who is an executive communication coach, a public speaking expert, a soft skill trainer, and founder of Speaking with Ami training services. She comes with 19 plus years of experience in learning and development. From corporate boardrooms to classrooms across India and China, she helps leaders, CFOs, executives, working professionals overcome stage fright, speak with confidence, and build executive presence. Ami also serves as the Vice President membership at Poway Toastmasters Club, and she's on a mission to empower 1 million voices through impactful communication. Welcome to the podcast, Ami.
Thank you, Nakul. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Great. So, our topic for today, I would introduce it by saying that it's the number one fear in the world, which is public speaking. And hopefully, today, Ami will help us overcome that fear, give us some tips and tricks. So, if you can go into the details of what are the biggest fears that people are feeling when it comes to public speaking and how can they overcome it?
Okay, that's a wonderful question, and it's the most common question asked to me all the time. Yes, the biggest fear when it comes to public speaking is the stage fright.
Okay.
It is stage fright and going on the stage, judging themselves if they are looking good and how is it. So it is a biggest fear. It is a fear which is there all the time. You see the best speaker in the world or a starter, they all
Hmm.
have stage fright.
Hmm.
And I would say, it is not only, it's not the stage fright that is really a fear, but the fear of judgment that goes beyond that. That I might not look good, sound not good, not smart enough, others are better than me. So there are a lot of questions which come together with this fear.
Hmm.
Now, the other question that you mentioned now, so there is a lot of inner work to be done, Nakul, on this, where we call it more like an inner engineering of communication.
Hmm.
And if that is done well, then any skill can be mastered. So it's a mindset shift, it's a
Okay.
belief system that you got to work on. And once this is the first step, I would say, the inner game, the inner work. It can be with affirmations, it can be with your way of thinking, it can be with a set of questions that we work on. And once this is done, you can overcome any fear, especially the fear of public speaking, mainly by practicing.
Hmm.
Practice, prepare as much as possible. There can be a lot of work done on your breathing skills, the grounding techniques, the way you breathe, because that's where you calm your nerves. The first
Hmm.
step you do is you need to calm your nerves. And before you calm your nerves, you got to work on your mindset shift. And then the small wins, like start taking those actions. Prepare,
Right.
get on the stage, prepare, again get on the stage, prepare, get on the stage of 5 people, maybe 10, 20, and that's how you overcome mainly. That's the main thing.
Got it. So is it a natural talent, public speaking, or is it something that can be developed, a skill?
Okay. My question to you here is, if I ask you, Lata Mangeshkar is a great singer, is it a
Hmm.
talent or is it a skill?
I would say mix of both, but it's also skill to be developed. Like, she must have done the practice work, working on her
Yeah.
voice.
That's a talent because she's a born singer, and there has not been a singer like her in
Yeah.
for decades, or I don't know when. She was a legend. But if I say someone sings as good as Lata Mangeshkar,
Hmm.
it's a skill which can be developed. Now,
Okay.
coming to your question, public speaking is a skill which can be mastered.
Hmm.
Just that you need to, it's like a musical instrument that you work on and you
Okay.
master.
Yeah.
You don't learn it in one day. And singing or speaking is just like singing. Your vocal cords, your verbal attributes, your pronunciation, your tone, your rate, pitch, articulation. So it's a skill which can be learned and mastered.
Okay. Got it. So, for a beginner, what is the first thing that they should be doing for preparing a speech or a presentation?
Okay, the firstly I said is the mindset shift. I would talk about once again.
Okay.
Mindset shift is because your core, if your core works, everything works. So if you think or you tell yourself you're not a good speaker, I'm scared of stage, I don't know, I don't look good, I don't sound good. A lot of people, I think 50, 70% population comes with this thing where they don't like their voice. And this is a world of podcast and webinars and being in public, especially the on screen presence. So the first thing they got to do is the mindset shift, which can work with affirmations, a positive affirmations, reframing your sentences from negative to positive. Apart from that, what you did ask me, how do you prepare when you're preparing your speech for the first time?
Yeah.
So what is the intention that you are setting to prepare that particular speech? Am I addressing, if I'm addressing a college, or if I'm addressing a BNR seminar, or if I'm addressing a group of friends, what is my intention? What is the message? It's not like school where speech learn kiya and it's over. It's not that's not the way you got to do it. There is an intention setting the message that you want to convey to your audience. Also do a research on what kind of audience is coming to you, from where they
Correct.
are, and then you build rapport so that your message reaches the right audience in right way. So let's take it as mindset shift to the core message that you want to convey, who is your audience, and a desired takeaway.
Okay.
Desired
Got it.
takeaway.
Some great points there. And now it's when it comes to public speaking, I think it's not just the speaking part, but there's also another important aspect, the non-verbal part, which is the body language. If you could expand on that and how important it is and how to improve it.
Sure. So if you see, there's a principle called Mehrabian's principle, which says 55% it's all about body language that we talk about. And your
Okay.
I value is by value. When we talk about body language, yes, your body comes first because the way you look, the way you grab audience attention, if you're going on that TEDx stage and the first smile you give or the way you
Mm.
present matters a lot. There are some elements here. The first one is the posture, the way you're standing, the way you're, for example, if I'm getting more in the front or the back, or of my mind, even if I'm speaking, even if it is just a podcast,
Hmm.
which can be visible, not visible. So your posture is one thing. How you stand, where you stand, are you at the center of the stage? Are you comfortable in the way you are dressed up and the way you present your posture? So it goes with posture. Second, gestures, hand gestures. In an online world, hand gestures can do everything from point one to point two. What is it that you want to say? How you want to say? It's
Yeah.
all that matters is with your hand gestures. So open gestures is the first thing,
Hmm.
because a lot of times what people do is they put their hands behind, they put it
Hmm.
in the front. I recently attended a TEDx event where I saw this happening as well. So, be comfortable with your hands. They are they actually can convey a very powerful message. You see the way I'm moving my hands? It
Yeah.
naturally happens, but your hand gestures are extremely important. So when I say extremely important, so the firstly I want to talk about, or secondly, it's the game of hands. So gestures comes, especially in the online world today. Posture, gesture, facial expressions. Facial
Okay.
expressions can be the first time you grab the stage. I would say just give that big smile. The smile
Hmm.
matters
Correct.
in everything that you speak, your voice. Even if someone is just hearing you on a call, they know if
Hmm.
you're speaking or not. So, facial expressions, it comes with a practice, but the way you see, eye contact, facial expressions through eye contact, look into the eye of the camera. For example, if I'm online and offline, look at that one person specifically who is very you are comfortable with, and move to the next, the whole room, from right, left, or left to right, and maintain that eye contact. Then comes is proximity, the distance, the
Hmm.
how far you are. Are you zooming in or are you zooming out? The way your proximity is, the distance that you maintain with your audience is something that also matters. So, posture, gesture, facial expressions, eye contact, proximity is what it
Got it.
is.
And as you were mentioning the points, I was conscious to each and every point whether I'm doing it correct or not.
That's fine.
Okay,
Complete.
but yeah, I think it also being mindful, it helps because you're conscious, you're seeing if each and every point that you've
Right.
mentioned, those things are you know being followed or not. And another great point I think is, even if it's not a video or if someone cannot see you, people can know what your body language is, whether you're talking while you're sleeping or you're not smiling. If you're smiling, it's clear in your voice. So that
Yeah.
is, I think, that is something I've noticed as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, body language is definitely important.
It's everything. It's the way your teacher enters the classroom in 90s to the teachers who enter now in the class. The
Yeah,
way the persona matters, the way you are present, it's everything actually. Everything, body languages. It's a gift
correct.
wrap to present. Yeah.
Got it. Now let's talk about something that's prevalent in these days, low attention span. So it's really important, the first 30 or 40 seconds, it's really important to grab the attention of the audience. So what are some of your go-to techniques to grab attention of the audience in the first 30 seconds?
First, okay. First 30 seconds, it's like an aeroplane which takes off and lands. And that's the time maximum accidents happen. You know,
Okay.
the same way, and that's mentioned in my book as well. And so the first 30 seconds really matter. How do you start? A very easy and a simple technique would be asking questions and connecting with people.
Hmm.
Really, really asking. So something like, how many of you? So if I'm talking
Hmm.
about a speech which says you should get up early in the morning, how many of you are early risers? If I'm talking
Yeah.
about public speaking, I might be, how many of you are backbenchers in the classroom?
Hmm.
So a questioning technique works very well. There's a speech I'm going to give in few days, which talks about how many of you are born in 1950s, 60s? Because I'm going to talk about change. I'm going to, so from 50s, 60s, 70s, I'm going to talk about the era of internet, black and white TV to color to Orkut to Facebook. So, are you
Yeah.
born in 50s, 70s? So it's a technique to grab attention,
Hmm.
which works beautifully. So start with a question, or you can start with, have you ever felt homesick when you left your house? Have you ever felt being a very, have you ever been into a position which is more of a servant leadership? So have you
Hmm.
ever worked well? Or how many of you is one technique which, so start with a question. Then you still have time to buy where you can tell a short story. This is the other way about. For example, my mom always told me, my mom always said that as a girl, you need to be stronger. So maybe you're talking about breaking that glass ceiling. So
Hmm.
you can even start with statistics or shocking fact.
Hmm.
And after you speak that question or a short story or a shocking fact, what is most important is to take a pause.
Okay.
So it's like a movie trailer. You give
Hmm.
some time for people to buy and then
Okay.
go ahead with the flow. You can set the context and go ahead. So grab your attention. And the easiest way is, I would say, use question. They work brilliant because you're connecting people there. Yeah,
Correct. And that, I think, questions are also helpful when one-on-one conversations as well.
absolutely.
Talking to people in general.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, Nakul, all speaking is public speaking, even
Yeah.
if it is with one person or it is with 100 people in a room. All speaking is public speaking. It's a way you present yourself. The first
Hmm.
time you meet someone, again, your body language matters till your tonality, the way you speak. So yeah, that's what you learn.
Yeah.
That's how.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Great. Now, my next question is also something that I deal with sometimes during taking podcasts, which is, and I'm sure it's also one of the biggest fears in public speaking, which is how do you deal with blanking out on the stage, forgetting what to say? How do you deal with that?
So see, a lot of people, what they do, they learn the speech. And I feel that's not the right way. You read 5 times the scripts, 10 times. But if you think you're completely blank, take that
Hmm.
pause, take a deep breath, pause, and smile. You get a
Okay.
buying time here. Again, deep breath, pause, and smile. So once you do this, this is a very, at least it's working brilliantly for me all these years. I'm into this profession for 20 years. When I started, I would fumble, get scared. Even now, there are times, I told you, even the best speakers in the world are learning, and we all are learning. So I would breathe, pause, smile. You go for an interview and an extempore question is asked to you, you don't know how to answer. You breathe, you pause, you smile, rather than just going, rushing and going anywhere. So, this is one technique. And refer to your mental speech map. What is your mind telling you?
Okay.
Paraphrase some of the ideas that you remember. Ask the audience a question, throw it back to them.
Got it.
So, pause, smile, think about it, and then you slowly and steadily take that moment to breathe by that time, and then you speak.
Understood. Wonderful. Now, I think in the previous one of the previous answers you had mentioned the power of storytelling. What role does it play in public speaking? And if you could share an example.
See, all of us are connect through our stories. There was a time, I'm from 80s, so our grandparents would tell our stories, and this time it's a different generation and era. We hear more stories online. The best
Hmm.
speakers are what you call an influencer, like Uncle
Hmm.
Wariko who talk about his story. So everybody is connecting with you because he or she has a story. If you go on a LinkedIn, I'm LinkedIn top voice, and I think what made me top voice is just my stories. So if you have a zero to hero stories, which everyone does, because none of us are born with whatever skills we have, we all reach there with some hard work, intention. So people like stories. They connect to you. They
Hmm.
connect to you, and that's what is extremely, extremely important. It can be a story you read in a small book. I would say take simple stories from Shiv Khera's book called Who Can Win. Take some your life, your personal stories with that incident that happened with your parents in the morning, or
Right.
or so there was a time when I was invited to speak somewhere, maybe Tata or some corporate company, and there was a lot of security check, which I
Hmm.
didn't like. After that security check and that whole process, when I went on the stage, I I don't know what to say because I was rushing. It was raining. I started with, you know what happened this morning? I entered a company and I met a security guard who spoke to me, and everybody started connecting because they know how the security people in the company are. So
Yeah.
these small, tiny things, we feel, why would somebody, hamari kaun sunega? Why would someone listen to us? You know, why?
Hmm.
Everybody is connecting with stories. If you if you see the leader of India who speaks, he connects with the story. He would connect with the Facebook story if he is in Zuckerberg's office, or if he's in IIT Mumbai, he would connect with how festivals happen in IIT. So yeah, that's the power of storytelling. I would say
Yeah.
a story box with you whenever you are free or you have that intuition. Even if you think you don't know writing, we have AI now to help us. Put your words, jot it down, share short stories on places like LinkedIn. If you're a fun
Yeah.
person, on Instagram, and see, it's a way to practice public speaking.
Yeah. I think everyone loves a good story.
Yeah.
It's something that's common in all of us.
And
Right.
everyone has story.
Yeah.
Child
Correct.
to a senior citizen, everyone has their story to say.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I noticed how while you are speaking, there's consistency and there's consistency, and I can see the emphasis on your tone, the speed, those pauses. If I want to learn it, or a beginner wants to learn it, what can beginners do to uh, improve their tone, speed, pauses for maximum impact?
Great. So I would say not only beginners, a CFO would also do this. Right now, I'm training directors and CEOs to the beginner. They all need to learn the pauses because that's one thing. So it starts with five verbal attributes I would talk
Hmm.
about. One, the first one is pronunciation.
Hmm.
Pronunciation means speaking words clearly so that you easily understand. We come from India, a country with more than 90 or 100 languages. So, and we were ruled by Britishers, so English comes to us naturally. At the same time, a pronunciation can be an error if you're from East India, North, West, South. So
Right.
that you are speaking in a neutral manner, neutral accent. There are a couple of activities to do here. You can do jaw exercise, tongue twisters, and work on it. And again, it's a skill which can be developed, even if you have a very strong mother tongue influence. So pronunciation. Second, tone.
Hmm.
Tone is more of an emotion. Okay. The tone brings emotion to your speech. The way you say hello to your best friend, the way you say hello to your boss is different.
Yeah.
And you got to practice it. The way to practice your tonality is speaking the same sentence from a book that you are reading or any sentence that you take in different tones. For example, how are you doing today? If I speak to my boss, how are you doing today, sir? Or how are you doing? You speak in a lazy manner. How are you doing to your friend? Or if you're angry, how are you doing? It's different. Your tone matters a lot. Good morning. My name is Ami. I'm calling from Citibank. Good morning. My name is Ami. I'm calling from Citibank. Good morning. My name is Ami. I'm calling from Citibank. Which was
Mhm.
the right way of speaking?
I think the last one.
Because the pauses were right and it was falling
Yeah.
at the right place. But as I say, good morning, my name is Ami, I'm calling from Citibank. The reason for my call is every single dollar you charge on your credit card, you get a point. It's fast. It's like slamming a sale. You just want to
Just
get
cut
it
it.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you're going, if a salesman is like that, you'll just move. If someone is very slow, again, it's boring. It gets into the boring mode. Whereas if you take it and speak in a right tone, a rate,
Mm.
comes with rate. Okay. I spoke about pronunciation, tone, together with rate, the rate of speech, how
Correct.
fast you are, how slow you are. Then comes a pitch. Again, see Sunidhi Chauhan, a high pitched singer or a low pitched singer. So there are some countries, if you go, no bias towards any country, but I lived in China for a decade. So a lot of times when people speak, you don't know if they're speaking or shouting because the tone is
Mm.
like that. The one word in that country is with four different tones.
Mm.
Okay, one word and four different meanings. The same way in India, or neutrally, if you want to speak, is your pitch high or is it low? Like I'm a high pitched person and it affects people at home as well at times. So what I do is you got to come down. You got to be very, very careful where, what, if your pitch is high, low down.
Mm.
High pitch, rate I spoke about. And the last is articulation. How do you articulate your thoughts? The grammar, the tenses you speak, the way you speak. And the easiest way to learn this is, and I tell this to students, to corporates, to the CEOs, everyone, for 1 week, record yourself for a minute. Talk about anything which is near you. For example, a mouse, a tissue paper, an eraser, anything which is there in your room. 1 minute, record yourself and put it on the book in one column. What is it that you're good at? And what
Mm.
is it that needs improvement? Once
Correct.
again, what is it that you're good at? What is it that you need that needs improvement in your verbal skills? And you will come to know your and you can keep these 5 parameters: pronunciation, tone, rate, pitch, articulation. In a week's time, you will know where you are or how you are.
Correct.
You'll easily be able to measure that. You will see a pattern in you. And
Mm.
then you start working on one pattern at a time. Start working on one thing. Cricket. Okay. We all watch cricket all the time. If Virat Kohli is making that big six and you have to speak the word O, how would you speak? In enthusiasm? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. If you miss the ball and you lose the match, you're like, oh.
Oh,
If you're
correct.
going to Lonavala and you're in a tunnel, you're going to a hill station and you're in a tunnel and the bus full of friends, you will again shout, oh, in a different. So one oh itself can change the emotion or the tone of what you are trying to speak. That's the power of tone, or one
Right.
hello or one good night. And it can be mastered. The only thing is, work on your inner game, your outer game will automatically come. It's just practice. I do it in my sessions all the time. And the difference, you can see difference in 4 weeks, 2 weeks, if you do it.
Right. So the key here is you've listened all the tips, you've listened to all the tricks. The key here is practice, practice, and practice.
Take those actions, because it's actions which speak, louder than words. And the best public speakers in the world are not the way they are. They just practice. They practice. They all. The best Bollywood actor to a Hollywood actor, it's all a matter of practice. It's a skill which can be developed. Anybody can be a great speaker.
That's right. Now, my last question to you is I'd like for you to give a key takeaway to the audience, which is what can the audience or what can the people do just before going onto the stage, to calm their nerves and get prepared for the speech.
Okay. So, see, for Indians, because they do a lot of yoga, or anybody in the world is doing yoga now. I think this is some yoga day also today. So I would say do things like Om chanting, where you breathe in, breathe out, or you do breathing exercises 4, 7, 8 breaths. So inhale, you count 4, hold 5, 7 seconds, and then you exhale. You again inhale, you hold, exhale. You can do this 4, 7, 8 or 4, 4, 4 is one way in which you can really do before you get on the stage. You can do power pause for 2 minutes. Okay, power pause immediately changes your state. So power pause can be done in a private area, washroom, or anywhere. So you just do a winner's we that we do when we win, the winner's we, or do a Superman pose, the way the Superman is standing, or the way he keeps his hands on his waist, the Superman pose. So these are two power poses, and you can do it anytime. It works beautifully, beautifully. So that's something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
something I'll also definitely try out before
yeah, yeah.
podcasts.
Please do that. Yeah, yeah.
Great. And it was lovely talking to you on this subject. Got to learn a lot of new things, which the audience will also be trying out. Hopefully. So Ami's new book, Public Speaking Essentials, is going to be out now soon, and all these tips and tricks and much more will be present in the book. So once the book is out, the links will be mentioned in the description. We'll also be putting Ami's LinkedIn and other social media links in the description. So do reach out to her if you require any help with public speaking. And thank you so much, Ami, for joining us today.
Thank you, Nakul. It was pleasure being there. Thank you so much.